Hey, Emmy fans. I'm Tom O'Neill with Gold Derby here with Marcus Dixon, and we're going to attack his predictions for Best Comedy Series.
Come on.
Marcus, let's start with you've got Marvelous Mrs. Maisel winning. It won last year, but Veep is back, and it is undefeated the last previous times. Explain.
Yeah, Veep won 3 of the past times it was eligible. It was not eligible yet last year, and so Marvelous Mrs. Maisel came along and took it down. But I'm feeling this love and this support for Maisel. Keep in mind all of those below the line races that it's going to get nominated for and it's going to win. Veep is not going to get any of that. Veep has never been loved by the crafts at the Emmys.
But so all right, we'll stop right there. So you're illogical right there. You're saying it's never been loved, but yet it won series 3 times.
Well, it's never been up against a juggernaut like Maisel. Maisel is the Mad Men of comedies. We keep saying this over and over. And one of the reasons Mad Men won is because all of those below the line voters loved the show so much that they kept voting for it. Veep's not going to get that. And another thing about Veep is this was the final season, but there was hardly any buzz for it compared to Game of Thrones, for example. Veep, the final week of the show, I remember talking to people and they were like, oh, the finale's this week? People just didn't know. And I think Maisel's the new hot young thing on the block, and it's going to win again.
The Emmys do like to repeat, so what keeps happening is, basically they're both undefeated champs if you just count the last 3 previous times Veep was up. Okay, so we're looking at Marcus's predictions here on his computer screen. Veep number 2, yes. Barry number 3. Some people think Barry could win.
I could see that. I would
too.
not be surprised on Emmy night if Veep wins. If Barry wins. I think it's going to win actor again. I think Henry Winkler has a great shot at supporting, and Stephen Root is probably going to get in too. Plus directing and writing.
You're talking nominations there in that case, right?
Yeah.
So Glow was in last year. Talk about? Is there still the buzz for Glow? Is that still going to happen?
I think it's still going to get in.
Why?
It got in, at a lot of these precursor guilds like the SAG Awards, for example. And, Netflix, they've never won a big series race. They've had a lot of comedies nominated, including Glow last year. And, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Master of None, and Orange is the New Black Season 1 was nominated for comedy. But this year, I think we're going to see Netflix get 3 nominees. I think Russian Doll, Glow, and Kaminsky Method. I think they're all going to get in.
Wow.
But can they win? I don't know.
No, I think the winners are between Maisel and Veep. I think we've narrowed that down. Kaminsky will get in. I'm not so sure about Glow. The other 2 things I'm not sure about are your other 2 Netflix predictions. In other words, Russian Doll and Dead to Me.
I just realized I have 4 Netflix shows in my predictions.
Oh my God! I hope you're getting your kickback checks in the mail. Jesus Christ, 4? That's not going to happen, Marcus.
No, and in fact.
See, he's already realizing how stupid his predictions are. God.
Dead to Me was such a great show when it came out, and everyone was
and now it's not.
Everyone was talking about it, but now that a month has gone by, I feel like the buzz may be dying. So I may take Dead to Me out, even though it's my number 1 comedy of the year. You need to watch it if you haven't.
Also, Marcus, you got to fess up. We can't be privately rooting for things here. You have to take the numbers, past voting patterns into place. You mentioned Kimmy Schmidt's been 4 for 4 for nominated here. So why don't we have it here now?
Again, that would be another Netflix show. Why don't we just call it Best Netflix Comedy Series? But it could get. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is this beloved show, and they're coming back next year for an interactive movie, which will be really fun. But did anyone really watch these final episodes?
Yes, we did, and we loved it. And even though it didn't get the below the line, all those supporting nominations last year, Titus still got in.
Titus got in.
The show did. She did not, right?
I think missed. Last year it was just Titus and the show, which
weird, very weird.
It deserves, all that below. It deserves
I know it does. It's a brilliant
makeup and hair and special effects. It's really a special show that I hope goes out with something. Maybe Titus.
You know what you don't have on your list here, and I probably don't either, frankly. I can't remember my latest update, is Fleabag. Talk about buzz. Talk about, whoa, social media. You see that thing rocketing up the charts. It certainly has the cool factor. It's got the cool factor within the industry right here in Hollywood where we are now. I don't know why I don't have it on my list.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
I may actually take out my favorite, Dead to Me, and put in Fleabag because of all the reasons you said. I'm a latecomer to the show. I just binged it, a couple weeks ago, season 1 and season 2, and it is really good. And I have Phoebe getting in for Best Actress.
I think Phoebe's in. If nothing else, she's in. I think that the juggernaut behind her is personal. It's love there. That's going to happen. The question is, series.
It could. I mean, I keep saying it could happen. It could happen. But this is.
And we know it could happen, Marcus. The question is, does it going to happen? All right. 10 minutes ago, you had Good Place in your predictions, and now you don't.
Oh, don't call me out on that.
Yes, traitor.
I don't.
Good Place fans.
The Good Place is one of those shows that it's like this niche show that I'm rooting for with every fiber of my being. But I think it's gonna have to settle for a Ted Danson for actor and maybe a Maya Rudolph. Those are the two it got last year. I mean, the fact that it's not getting in anywhere in season 1 or season 2 below the line is really, really confusing to me because it's so good. But you know what? The Golden Globes put it in this year for the first time for season 3. So maybe the Emmys are going to pay attention to that and put it in.
Sometimes, remember, it's a slow build. Like it's a slow build for the Americans and for even Game of Thrones, right? The first,
Friday Night Lights, it took 5 seasons or something before it got in.
So Blackish was in last year, and I'm not sure I buy this whole thing about, it's not getting in, the buzz is gone. That's what you hear from the blogosphere, and that's what you hear from all our numbskull editors at Gold Derby, me included. I mean, I don't advocate that, but that's the mantra, and I do think either Tracy or Anthony gets in. I have them in all right now, getting in. I may revisit series and get one of these others in there, but I know it dropped all that below the line support last year, and it just showed up in those top categories, like we were saying with Kimmy. But it's a force here. You can't write it off.
It's probably, of all the shows we mentioned, it's one of the most watched shows. I mean, it's on a broadcast network, which nothing we've mentioned so far has been on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. So if there's one that gets in, I think it'll be Blackish, although The Good Place could also for NBC. But, I could see the actors get in and maybe the show being dropped.
Right. Now that we're talking about this, I think that's what I'm going to change my prediction to here.
Copycat.
I know, I'm a thief. I admit it. Hey, talk about buzz and slow builds and cool factor. Schitt's Creek is a factor.
Yes.
And it's playing on, what is it, Netflix or one of these two, the other, or is it Amazon? The
reruns.
The reruns are on streaming, and that helps. That's what helped Breaking Bad finally break through at the Emmys. So that could happen.
It could. I mean, just in my Facebook feed and my Instagram, I'm seeing this show pop up more and more and more. And it may be a little too late. This was the final season, I believe. So, I mean, crazier things have happened, and I know a lot of people are rooting for it. So think of the stories that'll come out the next day if Schitt's Creek finally gets in.
Oh, I know. And is there something else we're leaving out here?
I think we've hit all the big ones. I mean, there's a couple Showtime shows we should mention. Kidding with Jim Carrey, Black Monday with Don Cheadle. Those could definitely do it. Yeah, I mean, I think we've hit all the big potential possibilities.
The Barry's a show. Let's go double. We'll wrap it up with this. Barry's a show about show business. So is Maisel, actually, when you think about it, right? So these are professionals in the industry voting. This is sometimes a really important factor, isn't it, in this game?
And Kaminsky Method too is about
Method too, that's right.
An acting coach, and I wonder if all these shows will just kind of split the vote, the Barry and the Kaminsky Method and Maisel, and maybe Veep comes out on top again.
I disagree with the whiners out there, and you may be among them, who said, the final episode of Veep was so bad. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so good. It was so especially mean this year and cruel, more so than even deliciously cruel, even more so than past years. But I still think it's quality. It feels important. It's the West Wing of comedies, and the one thing you can count on at the Emmys is the fact that they are repeats, just like TV reruns. But that said, Maisel won last year. You could be right.
Right. And speaking of Veep being mean, remember how mean the Emmys were? They rescinded Peter McNichol's nomination for guest star.
I'm still not over it.
Our experts think he's going to win this year.
So Peter, be happy. Thanks.